have a seat.
Okay, good morning to everyone. I think I owe it to the ICI bit na kayo nang maunang tumanggap ng interview dahil kung hindi mamaya ang dai-dai ng tawag sa akin since last night, but sabi ko I think I owe it to you guys who have been here since we started. So ayan ha. Anyway, let me start. No? I'd like to explain that I believe my role was to provide the technical aspects of DPWH's process from project identification to implementation, pati yung budget process, no, for both local and ODA, from central office, regional, district, as the implementing office. I thought I'd explain that because yung process na yun, doon nagkaroon ng mga kalukuhan. No? So, I had to do that in front of several government agencies like DOJ, OMB, AMLAC, SEC, Central Bank, BIR, BOC, among others. No? Because they, otherwise, yung learning curve nila masyadong matagal. No? So if we're able to explain to them exactly the whole process and where were the loopholes that were taken advantage of. No? I did the same to Secretary Vince Dizon as he was coming in, together with this new team of senior officials of DPWH. In fact, I think you must have picked it up that myself and Secretary Ping, we spent the whole morning with them in Clark to precisely explain the process. No? At more importantly, saan ba yung mga loopholes in the DPWH, and we also gave him exactly what recommendations to plug those possible situations. No? And again, very clear to my mind was what I explained to them, no? Yung 5 R's. Right project ba yan? Right cost ba yan? Right quality ba yan? Right on time ba yan? And done by the right people. No? And we also explained to him that during my period, and 2010 to 2016, including the time when Secretary Ping was DPWH Secretary, we always made sure that yung ABC, yung amount, total budget for the contract, publicize, hindi sekreto yan. So that people know or bidders know exactly what is the budget, plus minus. Kung you're outside that plus or minus band, then you're considered stray bid, hindi ka tatanggapin. The other information that we gave to DPWH was we adopted an important document as part of the bid submissions of contractors, what we referred to as the integrity pledge. That for you to be able to bid as a contractor, you commit to certain proper procedures, not to engage in corrupt practices. Part of your documents yan. If you don't submit that, we will not allow you to bid. Okay? So very clear 5 R's that we referred to for good governance and anti-corruption program. Okay, this was what I felt I had to contribute to ICI, no? Including the recommendations to precisely address saan nangyari yung mga problema. I think you must have heard that during our time, 50 million ang level of authority ng district engineer. Biglang lumobo to 150, tapos yung regional office naging 400, Kaya wala nang nakikitang local project sa head office kung hindi yung foreign assisted na lang. No? China-chap-chap na sa baba. So those were the major recommendations, and I think you must have heard that Secretary Vince has already reduced the level of authority of the district offices and the regional offices. Now, at the ICI level, we also accepted and agreed that because the legal process dito sa Pilipinas, several layers. From prosecution, building of cases, dalayin sa ombudsman to Sandigang Bayan. Medyo mahaba yon. And I kept mentioning, including meetings with the legislators, two gold standards for anti-corruption. I will keep repeating this, the ICAC of Hong Kong and the CPIB of Singapore. What is the major change in those two gold standards? All in one. Hindi na pasa-pasa. No? There's only one agency from foreclosure to lockdown to hanggang kulong, isang agency lang. Okay. Now, unfortunately, ICI was created, I would imagine, as an urgent matter. Kulang sa budget, walang budget, nasa diary yung budget, wala sa amin. Ganun sitwasyon ba? So, what we wanted to convey was ICI, as it is today, does not have enough powers to be able to execute as quickly as we can what we need to do. And that's why I am appealing to members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, ipasa nyo na yung IPC, or Independent People's Commission at the Senate level, and the ICAIC, which is at the lower house version. They committed that they will pass it before the end of the year. So hopefully by the end of the year, you will now have a much stronger independent commission with proper powers and authorities that ICI does not have. Now, because precisely of the long legal process, we had to resort to administrative measures. That's why we have been meeting with some 20 government agencies that have some administrative remedies. For example, classic example, yung Philippine Competition Commission. They can penalize bidders that are involved in bidding of rigs. At the first instance, 100 million, growing all the way to 250 million for every rig bidding. So the other one would be yung forfeiture of assets, freezing of assets, yung mga air assets included, as well as under declaration of ITRs of corporations. Hindi nakikita ng BIR dati yung total amount of contracts except what is submitted by the corporations as their income tax. So you must have heard of BIR running after back taxes and penalties. So with that, there's now in place, with the initiative of Chairman Andy Reyes, the creation of a technical working group that met, I believe some of you were present during the early portion of the TWG, where all the agencies were agreed to deadlines for future. Kailan yan? You have to submit within 7 days to the agencies involved. So, heavily dependent on AMLA, for future, at saka yung mga decisions so that air assets could be taken back to the Philippines. Yung mga ganun discussions. No? Now, so with both the legal, as I mentioned, na medyo matatagalan, administrative measures become very, very important. And this has to be reported regularly to the public para hindi naman nila parang walang nangyayari. No? But hopefully, by now, the public understands that hindi ICI yung magpapakulong. No? We are part of the legal process. Ours, by EO 94, we help in the investigation, prepare cases so that we can refer them to the Ombudsman, and the Ombudsman reviews them for filing. Now, with that said, what ICI needs now is a strong team to go over boxes of documents. I think you must have seen boxes being delivered here. So they have to now be processed so that they can be looked into individually, and who were the people responsible for whatever is the finding in those cases. We are very appreciative of the support given to us by PNP AFP because they provided some 64 ground investigation teams to ICI, which ICI does not have. Up to today, I think wala pang nagsusweldo dyan sa mga volunteers dito. Now, okay, so that's the kind of work that is urgently needed by ICI. In addition to the urgency of both houses passing the new ICI version. No? So I hope people understand that ICI on its own cannot solely carry the burden. We need the support of other government institutions, particularly at this time, both houses of Congress, the Senate and the lower house. So we are appealing to leadership of the House and the Senate to please pass that before the year ends. Okay. Now, aside from all of what I've said, which is a very stressful situation, as you probably know, I'm here almost every day, Monday to Friday, early in the morning till late afternoons. No? What I thought was going to be a commission work, which means when there are hearings, you're here, but that's not the case. Because as an engineer, I have to study all the applicable laws that are related to ICI hearings. Now, so because of the stress, my 77-year-old body cannot take it anymore. That's the other half of the situation. I've been in and out of the hospital. I just came from a medical workout this early, so alam niyo na, pagka nag-medical workout ka, jeta ka ng 10 hours, no? Maaga kang nagigising, blood extraction. This is the first time in my life that I've been asked to take maintenance medication for heart, high BP, high cholesterol, high creatinine, name it, everything is red flag in my body. Ayan, may tumatawag na naman, taga-media din. So please try to understand that it's not that I don't want to serve, it is just that my body and also the stress on my family, we are not used to this heavy stress, including heavy security for the family's safety. So I hope, and I wish that people will understand the reason for my resignation. I feel that I've done what I have to do for ICI, but I have to also answer to the needs of my family, family concerns, and my own personal life. I want to get back my privacy. Hindi na ako makagalaw ng hindi na re-recognize sa labas, ano? Kahit na i-AI po niya yung mukha ko, ganun pa rin, no? So, just to put the record on straight, I have submitted my irrevocable resignation, which takes effect December 15, but I have promised Chairman Andy Reyes that I will make myself available, hopefully not beyond December 31st, but at any point in time that there's any need for my services in terms of technical, wala naman akong may contribute sa legal, no? So I'll make myself available. That's what I committed to the ICI commissioners.